As we mentioned off the top of the show this morning, Boeing back in the news on a number of fronts. Here's our travel expert, Claire Newell, who joins us now. Claire, passengers are reporting being actually thrown into the roof when a recent Boeing flight dropped mid-air. For those that have lost trust in the company, is there any way you can check to see if you're actually booked on a Boeing flight? And if so, can you change it? And how does Boeing overall just rebound from all of this?
Rebounding from this situation is going to be rough. And this latest is just one of so many that we've talked about over the past probably 6-8 months. This is a terrible situation for Boeing. And I do know that a lot of people may be frightened to fly on them. We've never been in this situation. People actually trying to avoid a model of aircraft. We see this in cars. You might want to, you can go to a car rental company and go to a GM instead of a Ford or whatever you want. But flying, most of the big commercial flights are either Airbus or Boeing. So if you have a flight and you really don't want to fly on a Boeing, you're not going to just get your money back. You may be able to get insurance to cover you if you've got a policy called cancel for any reason, but that is few and far between. For many people, if they really want to avoid it, in the actual planning phase, you can actually see the model if you go into further details. It's not what most people do, but you can, and you can see exactly which aircraft will be flying. Now, there can be model changes, aircraft changes, if they need a bigger flight going somewhere, if it's popular. But the other option that you can do if you are currently booked is you can get a credit and fly on a different airline. It would be a credit for the airline that you had the ticket booked with, and you could book on another, but they're not going to just give you your money back.
I'm just not sure how realistic or practical that is when people are booking a family of four going to Mexico for spring break, and you find you're normally shopping the best deals. You're not normally shopping planes.
You're right, Carolyn, and that's the thing. This is going to be really, really impractical for the vast majority of people.
Yeah. Okay. Another big headline this week, and we were talking about the other day on the show, Airbnb changes. They're updating their rules. Can you bring us up to speed on this?
Yeah, this is about time. They are going to be banning all cameras, both internal and other than a few external cameras that have to be disclosed. Those would be outdoor for safety, say in a backyard or a doorbell camera, but any internal. Now, they used to allow them in common areas and sitting rooms and things. They did have to be marked that they were there, but unfortunately, lots of people have found hidden cameras, and so that's what's caused this. Everything will have to be changed globally by April the 30th. And I mean, really, who wants a camera when you're on vacation? It just seems odd that it was ever really allowed. But there you go, changing April 30th.
All right. Meantime, a new survey to talk about this morning, Claire, that says Canadians are expected to be among the top travel spenders in 2024.
Now, I knew that Canadians spend a lot. There's been tons of surveys that I've seen that says that Canadians put more into travel than they do into, say, their RRSPs. But this comes out from American Express and says that Canadians are going to be the second biggest market. The average spend, and these are bucket list type trips, like once in a lifetime type trips that Canadians love more than other countries. And $8,824 is the average spend for a trip for a Canadian who wants to do one of those bucket list trips. 36% of Canadians are planning to spend more this year on travel than they did last year. So very interesting study.
Okay. Spring break underway in some provinces, about to happen in others. What are some of the top destinations Canadians have been heading to? And are there any last minute deals you can tell us about?
Well, last minute's going to be tough. Some provinces are already in their spring break. BC is next week. Alberta, PEI, and Manitoba are the week after. They might be able to snag some deals. The popular destinations, Mexico has been number one, has actually been Cancun right across the country, but also Playa del Carmen, Puerto Vallarta. Canadian cities, so Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal are also on that list. Dominican Republic, Punta Cana in particular is on that list. So the vast majority of people that were polled by Booking.com, which came up with some of the numbers, said that 76% of people like water. It makes them feel more relaxed as soon as they're around water. So it's really the sun, sand destinations that have topped the list. Unfortunately, Not a lot of sales for a spring break. There never is. It typically sells out before it ever goes on sale. A reminder to those people who want to go maybe next year. But if you do want to go, you may be able to get a shorter destination, maybe like to a New York or a Las Vegas seemed to had a little bit of space. Orlando had a little bit of space. So you might be able to find something there. But for next year, booking early is definitely going to save money.
All right, good stuff. Claire Newell for us in Vancouver this morning. Claire, much appreciated as always. Thanks for this.
Thanks.